always have to make our offering to Poseidon. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Boom! Yeah! Lots of bags in the southern hemisphere. They are for the handsome Gramps, John Horner. Una, you gotta see this one.
Welcome to the Southern Hemisphere. Still have a briefing in the journey. Fourth region in the main hill. It's Friday the 5th of November, by the way. Up to 1 degree south in 10 minutes. Guys, it's as you can see down here, 10 to 5, that is tide time, and we're just coming up. This is trip miles for the day, just coming up to 160 miles. I think the day starts at about 10 past 5, 12 minutes past 5. I think simply because that must be when I started it. We're just way up to 160 miles, we might get another mile or two in after that. That's a pretty good effort. 6.7 knots average, 24 hours. Pretty good. As you can see we're tanking along at a reasonable speed constantly. I mean, 6.7, I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw 6.7, to be honest. And trip was just, we passed the other one today, 750 miles. We should pass 1,000 miles on Sunday, I think. So, progress. Still going the wrong way though. Course over the ground is only just to the west of south. A lot of the time being to the east, we're still moving east. We were on 88 something earlier today, now we're on 89.44, nearly on 90 degrees east. So we're definitely losing ground to the east, which is not good, but we just want to get down south, get across the doldrums and then pick up the southeast trades and then head for Mauritius. So hopefully that's going to be the comfortable way to do it. Sadly the way the great wind we're trying to get us to do it was not the comfortable way, and Sandra and I decided we wanted to do it. So 160 miles, there we are. Guys, it's 8:30 on Saturday morning, the 6th of November. I had a pretty rough night of it, still quite rough, but I think it's settling down a little bit. The waves have settled down a bit, the wind is dying, I think. Unfortunately we don't have our digital wind readout down here anymore because we lost the digital readout. We've only got the old analogue one, which is upstairs, and we have to go upstairs to the cockpit station to see that. And I think it's less than 20 knots now. It was around 20-22 for a long time. We had some squalls in the night that took us above 30, which caused us some issues, but nonetheless we're now whizzing along at a nice pace, generally 7, 8, 9 knots, occasionally 10 and very occasionally 11 knots. I've seen 11 knots twice this morning. Ooh, a bit of broaching there, and a gust probably, and all is well. The Commodore is taking her rest again, or is it still? And let's have a look at the instruments and see what we're doing. This is my iPad, it's a direct copy of the station upstairs. So there we are, there's the speed, 8.6 knots. The trip, we've done 843 miles, and today, since 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, we've done 105 miles. So we're going well to beat our record, which we set yesterday at 161 miles. Having said that, we're heading south to get it across the doldrums and into the southeast trades. And according to the forecast this morning, we're supposed to get to the edge of the doldrums round about midday. So it's about 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours. We should be getting there. On the radar screen, steady showers about. A few squalls about here, off to the west. Which is of course the way it's coming from. The line is a direct line to Mauritius. We're not trying to follow that line, but it just gives us an idea of where it is. Still 2,000 miles away or so, and it's not going to stay that way because we're not really heading directly towards it. There's a distance there, 2,152. So that's to Mauritius. So a long way to go, but we've done 850. Somewhere tomorrow we should pass 1,000, so quite a milestone. And hopefully we'll get through the doldrums sometime tomorrow as well, and into the southeast trades. Predict wind are still forecasting a pretty quick trip from here, over 6 knots average. Yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, they were saying it was going to be over 7 knots average, but we didn't get that. But nonetheless, we're going along at a good 9 knots hit. That's good. Drops down to 7 and then back up. And now I'll give you a quick look at the back. If I can stagger over there without falling over. Here we are looking at the back. Still quite stormy. The little bathtub just tunnels along. There's a fair amount of hull and bridge deck slapping, but nonetheless the red ensign still flying smoothly. Southern Indian Ocean. I have to say, I was thinking of crystal clear blue water and sunshine when I thought of the southern hemisphere. Not turned out that way so far. It can only get better. Just out of interest, the wind hasn't really dropped down at all. I thought it seemed to be getting a bit less, but that's not. Still 20-23 knots, which is fine. We've got a double reef in the Jenny, double reef in the mainsail, and we're whizzing along at 9 knots. Can't be bad. Okay guys, we're just coming up to the end of the trip day period, i.e. 1700 local, and just see we've done 168.2 miles with a minute to go to 1700. Yesterday we did 161 miles, so I've done 7 more today. It's not bad considering we had a bit of a slow sail in the middle of the night because we had a bit of a mainsail down. So we had a bit of a slow sail then, but we've been going pretty well since then. Although there's only 10 knots of wind, we're still doing between 6 and 7 knots, which is very nice. one last. The wind has died down a bit, the waves have died down a bit, and we've got comfortable sailing. Even though technically we're on a beat, the waves are coming from our rear quarter, our starboard quarter. So it's comfortable sailing. And here we go. With 10 seconds to go, we've done 168.4. Good morning, guys. It's Sunday morning, 9:10 here. And a couple of hours ago, we at long last found some wind that allowed us to head towards Mauritius. This dotted black line is the direct line to Mauritius from where we are just now. Sadly, we're not quite on it. We were initially just about on it. And it only lasted an hour, and then the wind backed a bit, and we had to veered a bit, and we had to bear off to sail. However, the good news is the wind has dropped down to about 15 knots, which is fine. So we'll get everything out, the whole jenny and the whole mainsail, and we're doing 6 to 7 knots, 14 or 15 knots. The bad news is we're still sort of beating into wind as close as we can reasonably do it without busting a gap. So it makes it a bit of an uncomfortable ride. And here the waves are all a bit higgledy-piggledy as well, so there's waves coming from everywhere, and it's a bit rocky and rolling. In terms of the wind is not supposed to be like this. So let's see, we go blind. Not supposed to be like this according to predict wind, so I'm not quite sure what we should do. We need to get further south to get into the southeast trades, but I'm reluctant to tack again, because that will be taking us away from Mauritius again. We only just started going towards it after a week of trying, so I'm tempted, I'm sort of minded to keep going in this direction, and we'll see what transpires. Well, here we are again, still Sunday, and we've tacked backwards and forwards a couple of times, and trying to make our way south, and then suddenly I was in the shower and Sandra came and said, we'll stop sailing, still 11 knots, but we'll stop sailing. And I said, well, you know, turn it away from the wind. Which she did, it was fine. But then I realised we were heading east, and so I went about it pretty much immediately, made a bit of a mess of it, and as a result I've ended up with one of the fishing lines wrapped around the starboard rudder. I don't know when we'll ever manage to get that off, but anyway, not at the moment, not until we get some calm weather. But anyway, the result was that we were able to turn onto this heading. We've got about 220 and tracking 216 over the ground, and as you can see here, this is the direct line to Mauritius, this dotted line here, and we're heading south of it, so that's good. And the winds are from the southeast, so these must be the southeast trades, so we'll give it a little bit this way, I think, to make sure we're in it, not just nibbling the edge. There's a new forecast out at 2 o'clock, which is in 25 minutes or so. So after I have a look at that, we'll decide. In the meantime, we're flying along, 40 off the wind, 6.5 knots, which is very nice. Very nice indeed. Mauritius, here we come. to sunset on day 13, and we have at long last found some southerly winds, if not southeasterly winds, and we're going in the right direction at pace. Unfortunately, we're still pretty much close hauled. As I said before, without the wind vane steering mode, I'm keeping it at about 50 degrees to the wind, which gives us some margin for error, not stalling it. And that's giving us about 7 knots. But as soon as we hit one of the waves, which we do frequently in this beating into wind, it really knocks the speed down the best part of the knot. But it accelerates pretty quickly. It's just a bit uncomfortable not to put too fine a point on it. Anyway, at least we're going in the right direction. The dotted line, as I said before, is the direct line to Mauritius. We're not heading directly towards it just now because, first of all, the track is more towards it. But we're still trying to get a bit further south to make sure that we get stuck into the southeast trades. Wind slowly building up towards 20 knots. I think tonight put a reef in the Jenny. We've already got a reef in the mainsail, but I may put a reef in the Jenny as well, just for comfort. It doesn't make a lot of difference to the speed, to be honest. If the speed stays up around about 20, we'll still do 7 knots. So that's nice. Haven't seen any sign of any ships all day. Nothing's been on AIS. It's been a bumpy old day since we found the wind, but we didn't find the wind until about 3 o'clock. So before that it's been frustration looking for the southeasterlies. Anyway, that's it from Not So Bad tonight. Good afternoon, campers. At last we have found something more akin to what I had imagined we'd spend a lot of our time in. Some fairly benign weather, not an awful lot of wind, just 10-12 knots, and the seas very gentle, as you can see. The no whitecap to be seen anywhere. No whitecap at all. We're doing 5 knots. And to be honest, that was what I wanted to do, is to average 5 knots per day, or per hour per day. And although we didn't do that in the beginning, we've actually done that overall since we set off. Earlier on today, unnoticed by either of us, we passed the 2,000 miles to go to Mauritius. So that's good. And our average speed is 5.2 knots for the trip, with our maximum 11.8. I didn't see that, but remember, I have seen 11 several times, but not 11.8. The wind, just 10 knots or so. Would be nice to have maybe 15, but 10's fine. We can do 5 knots easily in 10 without working it up a sweat. And the other figures on here, I've done 160 miles already today. 5 o'clock's the changeover, so I've got another 2 hours, an hour and a half. So I think we're going to beat our record. Maybe not comfortably, but we'll certainly beat our record of 166, I think it was. Anyway, there we go, campers. Commodore's resting again, take it in turns, and all is well on the good ship. Not so bad. Bye for now. Okay, it's still day 14, it's just about sunset, and we're moseying along gently in 11 knots at 6 knots, which is very nice indeed. And we also have a very nice sunset. Look at that. Isn't that nice? for cooking dinner again. And here we are, sitting down to a nice piece of salmon.
Salmon and homemade potato salad and homemade pickles.
Homemade pickles, yeah.
Homemade
And a glass of
pickles.
wine. It's not wine cola, it's a glass of wine to wash it down. We have dinner together, all our meals we eat together every day. So for those that say it's not possible, it is. And we're going to enjoy it. In fact, it's not so bad. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is the 10th of November. Yes.
It's the 7th anniversary of the day I joined Etihad. Just 5 days after the 7th anniversary of leaving Monarch. Sad days. But anyway, we move on. Where are we?
Today is day 15 into our journey since we left Phuket. And wow, what an experience.
Yeah, we've got the Southeast Trades, and this is our second full day, I think, in the Southeast Trades. And I don't know if you can see it, I'll come around here a bit. The sun is shining for the first time really since we came south of the equator. We did have some sun yesterday, and we had some sun a couple of days ago. Now this is the first sort of full day of sun, so that's nice.
Yes, not too bad. We've really had some pleasant sailing weather in the last 2 days especially, and it's been very pleasant. And we're enjoying it at the moment.
Yes.
And hopefully the rest of the journey will be just as comfortable as it is now today.
And sometime in the night, was it last night or the night before, we passed 2,000 miles. Neither of us noticed it. So 2,000 miles to go, that is, to Mauritius.
Yes, and today it is 1,800 nautical miles pending until we arrive in Mauritius. God's willing.
Yeah. So, all's well and not so bad. And a few things are breaking. We're having some issues. The nav lights went a couple of nights ago at the front. Other things have calmed down a little bit. I've been up the front and had a look at it. Looks like water ingestion, which is a bit annoying because it's a brand new unit, so it shouldn't have let water in, but there you go. I found a widget on the coach roof above us here yesterday morning. I've no idea what it's for. It's badly bent and broken, so whatever it was, it's not doing it anymore. I need to try and find out where it came from and whether we need to replace it urgently or not. What else is broken, Sandra?
Oh well, the list goes on.
Oh, the lazy boys.
The lazy boys gave us a little bit of a lazy look yesterday, and John, Super J, went up and he fixed it. Mr. Do it yourself. If you need anything fixed, he's your man.
Well, it's a kind of temporary bodge job, but it'll do for the moment.
Sorry, with the currents that we've had and the waves, the force of the waves, I'm not surprised.
But it's pretty much straight to Mauritius from here, so it doesn't matter too much about the routing. We just have to live with it. Well, that's it from us, I think.
Yes, until we have more exciting waving news for you. Until next time. Your fingers crossed for us.
Bye for now.